My F23, BF, M25, eats such large portions each meal and it's getting costly. I, F23, have been dating this guy, M25, for 45 months now and I feel like the biggest bitch ever. I don't mean to fat shame anyone and I understand everyone has different appetite, but this guy is big, weighing about 270,280 pounds and eats so much it's getting frustrating and costly. He has been living with me for 1 month and a half now. BC his apartment caught on fire. Meanwhile looking for a new place, but it's taking longer than expected, which I don't mind. So we split the groceries costs, but unfortunately this man eats so much. Over time I find this man is kinda greedy when it comes to food, so I would make food enough for a family of 4 and he would eat 3/4 of the portions, leaving no leftovers or nothing, while I only eat 1/4 of the meal. Also his eating habits are horrible. I bought a tub of butter and he has used all of it in a matter of 1 week and then complains how I fatten oil is when I used a tablespoon to sauté veggies. For example, the other day we made wings and there was 20 wings. I grabbed 5 and he grabs 10. I finish eating and I go about doing whatever. I got back in the kitchen to clean up expecting food left over for me to pack for work the next day. But there was nothing left. He ate all 15 wings. I can't help but feel frustrated how he ate the remaining 5 wings without even asking me if I want any more. He would help himself to all my snacks and the food I bring home from my mom's without asking. So is it fair for me to split the groceries bills 50-50 when this man eats majority of every meals we make? I feel like the biggest bitch ever. BC I find myself always judging how much this guy eats. Ask him to contribute more to the grocery bill. I don't think it would be strange to do it all. I wonder if the real issue, though, is that you're doing a lot of the work in making food, expecting there to be leftovers, and there's nothing left, where, in the past, you could count on there being more when you go back to it. When I read this posts like this, in my opinion, the issue that is written about is never the issue. 45 months and he's living with you. Splitting the costs? I'm sorry, but no. Even if his house caught fire. Sigh. So, to the issue, at the very least, you need to stop splitting the costs. Tell him to buy his own food. You buy your own. I don't care if it's awkward or weird. It's your house, your money, and you've only known him 45 months, which is no time at all. At the most, he needs to leave. Lol girl. No. He is taking advantage of you. Give him a 30-day notice now or he will never leave. This man eats like a family of 5. Stock up on toilet plungers too. Woman facepalming, light skin tone. My friend had a boyfriend like that. She would buy 4 big grocery bags worth of food for 1 week. Pay for it and cook everything for this boss. She was always broke and unhappy because he was a useless leech who played on her insecurities. Their relationship kinda started the same way. He needed somewhere to crash for a while and then 4 years had passed. After she found the courage to dump his ass, she saved enough money to buy herself a house. And lost around 50 kilos. 110 pounds. I do hope you won't take this quietly because your boyfriend is being super inconsiderate and is giving off major leechy vibes. Be careful. Edit. Wrong LBS conversion. Make him buy 100% of groceries since he eats a lot more than you do. You are helping him out by giving him a place to live. It is the least that he can do. I think the grander issue here is that he is inconsiderate. You're beating yourself because you think you are food shaming him, when that's not the grand problem. He eats your leftovers. He doesn't ask if you want to save your half. He takes food you bring home from meals that didn't involve him. That's rude. It's not considerate of you. Your money, or your space. I think you would feel less guilty if you framed it this way, as it's totally valid and isn't a shaming issue. I recently went on a date. Guy was average weight, but wolfed down shared sushi dishes to where I felt like I had to keep up. I grab my share and put it in my plate if I was going to get enough to call it a meal. It wasn't that I was grossed out by fast eating. It was that it was clear he wasn't going to wolf down just his half, but was going to keep going if I didn't fight for my share. That's rude and unattractive. You're not a bad person. You just want some manners and consideration. Starting with, "Hey, can you ask if it's okay to eat my portion before doing so? I was planning on saving that for tomorrow, and please don't touch my leftovers. I want that for tomorrow and you've taken them from me in the past. Also, why has he been there this long? Why can't he find a place?" Yes, it is fair, but most importantly, why are you not communicating this with him immediately? Do it in a stern, but direct way. That is the only way you could have this resolved. Hopefully. He sounds kind of gross and rude tbh. Split stuff proportionately if you insist on keeping him around. If he uses 75% of everything in the house, he should contribute that much. But it's also rude as hell that he doesn't consider you at all. Are you communicating your expectations with him? As in, I've had 5 wings. You've had 10. The other 5 are for me to take to work tomorrow. Don't eat them. If you know his appetite is bigger, then he needs to pay extra and ensure he has enough food without taking from you. My partner and I are always checking in about meals to make sure everyone gets what they want. It's something that took a fair bit of time to get used to. In the very early days, he'd sometimes take the extra without asking, but he soon learned to check. First, it's courtesy and politeness. I find making it super clear when we are doing the shopping means there's usually no issues later. You really need to look at the whole relationship though, as you don't seem as if you even like the guy. It's okay to tell him that staying with you isn't working and he needs to go somewhere else. Tell him it's time to go. You can't afford to feed him. I hope he is paying for more than food while is staying with you. Partners shouldn't be burdens. This guy, this man, sounds to me like you don't even like him. Honestly, I think you should cut your losses. He can find someone else to finance his gluttony. This man has a relationship with food, and you're the side girl. Look, my husband is a big eater. He's 6 feet and over 300 pounds. I always get my food first and he always asks if I got enough before he eats. Always. If he thought for 1 second I had not had enough, he would immediately fix that. If he ate all our food and left me with nothing, I would never have married him. No way in hell. One time, early in our relationship, we were sharing a Snickers bar. I took a bite and handed it to him and he ate the whole thing. When he saw my shocked face, he was apologetic. About 3 days later, the man comes home with a gift box full of Snickers. The little bars. It took me months to eat them. Over 6 months. And eventually I just gave him the rest. It was a little joke. And we still giggle about it now. I think that's when he started asking if I had enough food. Surely you deserve better than dating an inconsiderate fat ass? It's time for him to find somewhere else to live. Tell him you need your space and privacy back. And tell him until he finds a place to stay, he buys his own food and your food is now off limits. And be clear about his lack of respect in regard to eating your food. Be clear and firm and make him stick to the timeline of moving out. Are you sure his house caught on fire? I'm like half joking, but a lot of guys love to move in with women they barely know because they didn't have a great loving situation. Maybe I'm just thinking badly, IDK. But anyway, he's gotta go like yesterday. I live with my brother and he eats everything. He's a teenager, but he's very aware of what food to eat, what food I eat, and how much of it is there in general. This man does not seem to think of or care about you. Splitting the food bill 50-50 will not magically make him have manners, and I'm worried about how you'll be able to survive if he stays with you. Girl, you gotta eat. Just tell him he's eating more than his fair share, so you'd like to separate your groceries, or he needs to pay 2/33 of the total grocery bill. Also, if he's this inconsiderate and you don't feel comfortable enough with him to have these types of conversations, then I'd end the relationship. Keep on him about finding a place and end it. Hell nah. He eats 3/4 of the food. He pays 3/4 of the grocery bill. And did I understand you that you're housing him too? Girl, cut this off. You got a hobosexual. Okay, if he weighs 270 pounds, and he's not at least 6 feet 4, he needs to start thinking seriously about his eating habits. Here's a thought. Send him out to do the grocery shopping a few times. See if this doesn't give him an appreciation about what this is costing. Oh my God. Get this guy out of your house. Up. There is no reason he should be living you. That sucks about his house. But you should never have taken him in. You do not know anyone well enough after 0.3 months to have them move in with you. Get him out of your house. You're focusing on the damn groceries when you've let a giant leech into your home.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Heracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.